people like that. And I sang for them, and instantly from then, straight away, they took me under their wing. They were part of like a sound, and was doing a few little dubs for them, and now slowly introduced.
But at that point, though, would you say that after you got some kind of approval or recognition or validation, did you feel then, I want to be a star? Or what I'm saying is, did you kind of say,
instantly think I want to be a star?
Well, what did you actually think once you got that little approval? What happened?
No, I felt like I was a part of something that I'd wanted to be a part of for so long. And again, as I said, as musicians, there's no boundary. Like, for example, as I'm older now and we've done rehearsals and so forth, you work with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, so many different, everybody's got their own cards, their own struggles, but we've all got something in common. It's music. And whether they're black, white, Asian, whatever, you come together in a room and you create something so beautiful where even if you can't speak their language, you understand. You get what I mean? And for me, that's what's driven me for so many years. Yes, when I was younger, you want to at least get to the top 10 or something, you know what I mean? But as time went on, the initial drive is because I enjoy it, and without it, there's nothing, you know what I mean? That's my therapy.
Well, let's come because you mentioned the word like therapy. In terms of healing, in terms of your career, in terms of what you've done, what was the pivotal point where your music became part of that healing journey? Or was it always part of it, but you didn't know it? But was there a point when, from your grandma's passing, was there something else that happened that said, whatever happens, this music has to connect to what's going on inside? So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I think it was after leaving college, being signed to a small independent label, going through we did a small tour around the UK. And I think once I did that, I realised that I didn't want to be a part of the mainstream industry. It wasn't for me. It's not what I wanted. I never wanted to be with a major label. Although I wanted the perks of being with a major label, I didn't like the hurdles and the obstacles that I'd have to cross in order to be on those major labels.
Is that did you have a sense at the time then that one of my observations is that the media and record companies shape the identity of their artists, and is it a sense that you wanted to hold on to your own sense of identity?
Yes, I wanted to hold on to as much as me as I could, and again going through living on the ends and around the way, you kind of see what can happen, what if you don't have something to kind of anchor onto to kind of keep you uplifted, you can see the downfalls, and you see that every day. And for me, I just didn't want to be another statistic. Yes, I made mistakes, as anybody does, made wrong choices and so forth, but I knew within me that if I just stuck and put the discipline into this music, that it would take me somewhere else, possibly even out of the ends, so I could help the ends. You know what I mean? So
artistically, I mean, one of the things that's really important to me is how we connect to those that went before. So when you developed your identity as this, I want to be me, did you ever spend any time and revisit the past to see who'd gone before you, who'd made that similar journey?
Again, I was inspired by, artists like, as I mentioned before, the UK Jackie Graham, Whitney, Regina Bell, and all these women were strong women who, in my eyes, as much as, yes, they were with a major label, they never changed. They sounded like who they wanted to be. Whereas a lot of the UK labels and what they were doing at that time, and I'm not saying it's the same now, it just seemed like they wanted you to fit or to be compared. As much as I like Anita Baker, I don't want to be Anita Baker. As much as I like, Whitney, I don't want to be Whitney. There's always this comparison to somebody else, and I just wanted to kind of stay away from that. Being on an independent label, the thing that I found was if I didn't almost strip off and wear certain garms or whatever, it was almost like my career would end, which has not been the case. It may not have blown up and I might not be in the mainstream, but for as many years, over a decade, I've been able to still hold on to music and still keep my self-worth within music, in the music industry, which is so dominated by males.
As a black female singer, if I define it that way, what does it feel like knowing that you can't just be a singer? You've got to be a singer who challenges sexist behaviour, a singer that challenges the stereotype. Is that a burden, or does that actually make your work stronger?
On a good day,
well, whatever it is to you.
On a good day, I can definitely say that just drives me even more to kind of to stand my ground. And, if it's a case of I have a show, there's times when, as a woman, you want to put on your heels and put on a nice dress, but that's because I choose to, not because my manager or my industry is telling me to do that. You get what I mean? Because it's a bit, for anybody in your everyday life, you wear what you want to wear. You go out as you choose. And so I think, personally, I wouldn't say I'm... it doesn't burden me, but it does make me worry about the younger ones coming into the industry because, as I said, I've been able to kind of hold my own and work with people who are like-minded, and it is about the music and not just about the external.
But let me come on to again another controversial issue, because one of the things that again in my observation is that whether it's Nicki Minaj, Beyonce's recently photographed being pregnant, Serena Williams,
it's beautiful.
The sexualization of women shaped by women. And I'm just wondering, how does that affect you when other women contradict some of your values and your beliefs around the issue of music in relationship to healing? You know
what? I wouldn't say it's a contradiction, because I think everybody has a choice to be who they want to be. And that's what I'm trying to say. Everybody has a choice. That's just not me. You get what I mean? And it doesn't put pressure on me, and I don't know why. You know what I mean? For most, it would be like an extra burden. It does make me think like, it does make me have to think harder as to, if it's artwork or, we're thinking about videos and stuff at the moment, and it does make me have to go into my get into my creative space to really think of things in a more abstract way, so I can get my message across in a way that's going to hit people with colour and pictures, and make it more visual rather than just me standing there singing a song, because it's been done before so many times. We don't need to keep doing it.
If there's another Adante tonight, 14, sitting in a bedroom, but she's never experienced love, never had the love of, family, friends, lives in a very dark place, and she's singing to herself, but is frightened of that voice and what it unleashes. What are the 2 or 3 things that if you were speaking to that girl tonight and she's sitting there listening, what are the 2 or 3 things that you'd want to say to her?
There comes a point when you talk to your inner, your inner voice talks to your intuition. What
if that inner voice is pure dark and negative, painful, it's all about loss? How does that individual begin to acknowledge that
she's got something?
She's got something inside. So,
it's a hard one, and a lot of it depends on if you've got, I don't know, there's got to be one supportive friend, one supportive teacher, one supportive parent or family member. Probably not directly in your close proximity, but somewhere that you can pick up a phone and call. And it's, for me, as I said, I didn't have, although I found, for me to start music, I mean, it was my mum that took me there, to the studio and everything. But I think just having just one person that believes in you, or just sees something in you to kind of just keep you going. And there's sometimes, I work with kids now, 11 to 16, and I'm also a learning mentor as well as a vocal mentor. And the one thing that a lot of kids at that age want to do is just talk. Just ask them how their days, it's not just about, yes, education is very important, but with the students that and the pupils that I work with, music is something that we all have in common. You know, before the lesson starts, we can play a bit of music, have a little, you know what I mean, have a little jam before the session starts, and they're ready to go.
If that same
You know
little
what I
girl,
mean?
she's took your advice, she's feeling better about herself, but then you have to say, you're going to have to practice. Oh, yo, that's a long thing.
It is discipline.
So again, do you want to talk a little bit about the importance of discipline?
For me, music helped me to discipline myself, which has led me to be a learning mentor, to get involved with education, to do other things that I would never have dreamt of just by, you know, being in my room writing music. And that's the thing that I always try to get through to anybody of that age upwards. Perseverance, you know, even though people might not, you know, people tell you, oh, that's, you know, forget that. Where you're going to get with that? Believe in your own dreams. Believe in you know, anything that you're setting your mind to do. It could be the most stupidest thing in the world, but if it's something that you really believe that you can do, don't make nobody stop you from believing that. And that's, you know, that's one of the.
Well, I've got one final question for you, right? Which is like the elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. Imagine you got that same 14-year-old girl that's got parents who are saying, you're going to be a scientist. Mm-hmm. And she goes into her bedroom and she sings. Mm-hmm. But she knows that her parents are going to say that, what? You're going to be a singer? You want to sing? What is the one thing that you'd like to say to parents who are going to say the dreaded, what? Singing? What would you like to say to them?
As a parent, I think we spend so much time in trying to shape, and I'm not saying all, but, you know, you want them to be better than yourself. Do you want them to do better than yourself? But that's not always for them to kind of, you know, be the doctor that they don't want to be, the scientist that they don't want to be. And I think if you just give them the, you know, enough ground and enough moral ground to kind of just think for themselves, give them the independence to take on responsibilities, to think, well, you know, if I do this, the consequences will be, talk to them as real people. They're young people that are going to be ruling this world very soon. And I think you have to kind of trust, if you see your child has a talent, allow them to kind of help them to nurture that talent and do it properly. So, you know, as a singer, if they want to do singing, for example, see how long they can keep attending vocal training. Are they going to take it to the next level? Are they going to go to college with that? Are they going to, you know what I mean? Make sure that they're getting as much, if that's where their heart is, get them to apply that in some kind of form where they can actually, you know, in 10 years, be a lecturer and, you know, use that talent that they've had, not only just to enjoy for themselves, but also to share with others, if, God forbid, it doesn't work.
Well, you know, Adante, I want to say, because we've come to the end of the interview, I want to say a big thanks. But I also want to close on something, because for the parents and people out there that place restrictions on using music as a healing tool, I'd like to bring people's attention to the studies of Alzheimer's. When people start to suffer memory loss, music is the way that people can maintain links with their memory. So not only is there a therapeutic value in church without the hymns. So I think what Adante's kind of shared with us and taught us tonight, not only is it possible to pursue your passion, but it's also possible to still be yourself, and as well as pursuing your passion. So remember, the Roadman's Guide is about the community, for the community, by the community. And remember the 6 R's. Read, write, research, recharge, rest, and more importantly, remember. So, until next time, stay safe, walk good, and bring light into the darkness. This is Doc Martin. Peace.